This is the brand new Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450. Now, as the name suggests, this is based on the same platform as the Himalayan 450. But don't be fooled into thinking that this is a scram version of the Himalayan 450. In fact, that's not the case. This is a completely different motorcycle, and apart from the engine, it doesn't share much with its ADV counterpart. So what's new on this motorcycle? What has changed compared to the Himalayan? Well, let's find out in this video. First things first, let's talk about its design. So again, as you can see, it doesn't have much resemblance to the Himalayan. Of course, it feels a little similar in the central area because of the engine, of course, but overall the dimensions are shorter. So this is a much shorter motorcycle, more compact motorcycle compared to the Himalayan. The wheelbase, for example, has been shortened by around 70 millimeters. The rake has also been decreased by around 4 degrees, and the trail is of course shorter as well. So overall, this motorcycle, it doesn't have any sort of ADV influence, as you can see, because this looks more aggressive. This looks more stubby, and I especially love the rear section. As you can see, this really has that sporty, that scram look, or the roadster look. Sorry, it's not a scrambler, I have to remind you again. But yeah, overall, I think in terms of design, it looks quite good. Now, some of the key highlights of the design are, of course, by the dimensions, because it's a short motorcycle, and the fuel tank here is also quite compact. So this is only 11 liters in capacity. That means it's been reduced by around 6 liters compared to the Himalayan. And the frame, I'll now quickly show you the frame of this motorcycle. Again, it shares the front component with the Himalayan, but not the rest of it. But I'll show you a cut section of the frame, and then I'll give you more details on its chassis and the overall geometry of this motorcycle. So there it is. It's the cut section of the frame. Now, this is a tubular steel frame. The front section is the same as the Himalayan, but at the rear, it's much shorter. The swing arm is also shorter, and at the front, you can see the rake is sharper. It's more aggressive for sure. Now, the changes, look at the wheel. This is a smaller wheel size. This is only 17 inches, and these tires are again road bias. These are not dual purpose tires, even though the tread pattern looks like something that you'd find on a scrambler, but that's not the case. Now, moving up, you have the suspension. Now, this is more or less the same suspension as the Himalayan, in the sense from the same manufacturer. This is manufactured by Showa, but the travel is less. In the sense, the travel on this is only 140 millimeters at the front. Now, at the back, you have again a monoshock, but the travel on this is reduced to 150 millimeters as compared to 200 millimeters on the Himalayan. Now, the best part about this motorcycle is that it's also much lighter than the Himalayan, and it is around 11 kilograms lighter than the Himalayan. So overall, Royal Enfield has focused more on performance, more on agility on this motorcycle. And again, we are going to ride this motorcycle very soon, so we'll tell you how it pans out in the real world. But in terms of the chassis, in terms of the frame, in terms of the overall geometry, this is a very different motorcycle compared to the Himalayan, and that's why it is probably not going to feel as the Himalayan. So whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll tell you very soon. And it has the same engine. The performance is going to be more or less the same. The power output and torque are exactly the same, but the tuning of this engine is completely different. In the sense, Royal Enfield says that, this motorcycle is meant for the street, so it is peppier low down, especially the low end torque and mid-range. So that's where this motorcycle excels compared to the Himalayan, and we are told that we can feel it when you're riding the motorcycle. Now, the thing is, of course, we will be riding this motorcycle. You will watch our first ride review very soon, and we'll tell you in great detail how this engine performs. Now let's talk about the instrumentation. Now, as you can see, this is similar or identical to the one that you find on the Himalayan. So it is the same circular 4-inch dial. It gets Google Maps, it gets navigation, a lot more things, and it is quite nice to use. But the thing is, this is the top spec version. The lower version, which is called analog, features the same dial as the Meteor 350, and it also gets that optional TRIPA system, navigation system. So you must have seen that small pod. So that's also available with the lower variant. But again, on the top spec version, this is what you get, and this is what you should go for because it is quite functional on the Himalayan, and you're thinking the functionality remains the same on this motorcycle as well. Now the switch gear, of course, I can't tell you about how does it feel, the quality, fit and finish, because everything is under embargo. But again, the switch gear is exactly the same as the Himalayan as you find on other Royal Enfield motorcycles, so nothing has changed on that front. Of course, there are a lot of accessories that are on offer with this motorcycle, and I'll just quickly show you all the accessories that are on offer. But overall, in terms of switch gear, especially in terms of how it functions, everything is more or less same, and we have seen this previously as well. So these are some of the accessories that are offered with the Guerrilla 450. You've got this sump guard. It's available in both silver and black. There is this comfort seat. You've also got bar and mirrors, different sort of mirrors. You've also got pannier rails. Here are some more accessories on offer. So you've got this cowl, you've got this grill for headlamp, and you've got this radiator cover. And this is the bench seat, and I think this increases the seat height by around 20 millimeters. So it is going to be of interest for taller riders because it increases the seat height. So these are some of the motorcycles which are kitted with these accessories, and there it is. And yeah, on the same topic, this is one of the color options that you get on the Guerrilla 450. Now the other thing you might be interested in is the seat, the saddle, and it looks quite nice. Of course, it is quite wide, quite spacious, but the main thing here is that the geometry has changed. So not the geometry, but the rider's triangle. So it is more aggressive the way you sit on this motorcycle. It's not as relaxed as the Himalayan. The foot pegs are slightly rear set, the handlebar is lower, so you sit in a more aggressive, more sporty position. How is it going to be in terms of comfort over the Himalayan? Of course, that we can only tell once we ride the motorcycle. But what has improved is the accessibility, the practicality, because it's a smaller motorcycle. The seat height has been reduced by around 45 millimeters. So this is 780 millimeters as standard as compared to Himalayan, which is 825 millimeters. So shorter riders won't feel intimidated by this motorcycle. And like I said, it's already a lighter package. It is 11 kilograms lighter than the Himalayan. So if you want a motorcycle primarily for the city, I think this will get the job done. Now the trade-off here is of course the ground clearance. Compared to the Himalayan, this is only 170 millimeters, but I think that is also quite decent compared to other bikes because the Himalayan is an ADV, it gets bigger wheels, so it has a lot more clearance than any other motorcycle. But then if you compare it with the Guerrilla 450, of course, that's a trade-off that you would think that compared to the Himalayan, this has got. So now coming to the color options on the Guerrilla 450, now there are a total of 5 color options, and this is the top spec. So this is red and golden. You've also got this yellow one. Again, everything is dual tone. And then there is this icy blue. It's blue. It has got this exposed paint on the frame. Looks quite cool, but I'm not sure if a lot of customers will take it in. But anyway, so these are the 3 color options. The other one is that this is a little bit of yellow and black. And this is available with the base version, the analog one. And there's also one which is plain, that's called smoke, and it's in silver finish. So these are the 5 color options on this motorcycle. And of course, the top ones get the dual tone finish. So this is all that we can tell you about the Guerrilla 450 as of now. Of course, it's been launched already. We have also ridden this motorcycle in Spain, and our first ride review will go live on the 27th of July. So stay tuned to AutoX for more details and to see if the Guerrilla 450 is as good as it looks in this video.